Good evening. I'm Donna Davenport with Channel 13 News. Tonight's top story: America's growing obsession with beauty and celebrity culture appears to be reaching disturbing new heights. Plastic surgery clinics across the country are reporting record numbers of young women willing to undergo painful procedures in exchange for fame, television exposure, and public attention. Experts warn the increasing pressure to appear perfect may be creating dangerous psychological effects, especially among younger generations desperate to be seen. One Hollywood producer reportedly stated, quote, "If people think beauty opens doors, they'll carve themselves apart trying to fit through one." And now, a word from our sponsors.
The signal never stops.
The file I'm about to play didn't come from one of the old tapes. No dusty VHS box buried beneath floorboards. No forgotten reel tucked inside some moldy cabinet in the Channel 13 archive room. Nobody mailed this one to the station, wrapped in newspaper with a warning scribbled across the front, like people in horror stories apparently still have the energy for arts and crafts. This one arrived on its own. 3 months ago, one of the televisions in Studio B switched on by itself at exactly 3:13 in the morning. The room hasn't had working electricity since the late 90s, so already we were off to a wonderful start. At first, there was only static. Then, the picture cleared. A young woman sat in front of a mirror inside what looked like a luxury apartment bedroom, ring light glowing behind her, phone notifications rolling non-stop across the bottom of the screen so fast they blurred together. Thousands of them. The strange part wasn't the messages, it was her. She didn't move. Shoulders still, hands in her lap, mascara dried into the grooves of what was left of her face. She just sat there staring into the mirror, while morning sunlight crept slowly through the windows behind her. The stream lasted 11 minutes, then the signal died. About 10 seconds later, a file appeared in the Channel 13 archive server under a folder nobody remembers creating. Hashtag Skin Deep. The girl in this recording was named Emily Harper. 23 years old. She was funny, pretty, and smart enough to know better, which has never stopped anyone, obviously. Humanity built skyscrapers and still touches wet paint to see if the sign is lying. She had a best friend, a boyfriend who loved her, and a family 20 minutes down the road who kept the porch light on. A life that wasn't perfect, but real. And real is worth more than people understand until they've traded it for something that only looks better in photographs. Wanting to be loved and wanting to be seen are two very different hungers. One of them is a hell of a lot easier to feed. Roll the tape. The girl before the mirror. The first thing people noticed about Emily Harper was her laugh. Not her body or makeup, and not the photographs she would later learn to take from flattering angles beneath soft lighting until every version of herself looked polished enough to sell and lonely enough to buy. Her laugh, it came out loud and crooked, followed almost every time by one hand, flying over her mouth like she was trying to shove joy back inside before it embarrassed her. Emily worked afternoons at Bellamy Threads, a small town clothing store wedged between a vape shop and an aging laundromat that permanently smelled like detergent, warm coins, and other people's socks. Most days involved folding jeans customers unfolded 5 seconds later, explaining return policies to women already angry before entering the building, and listening to the same playlist so many times Emily could identify a song by its first 3 molecules of sound. Still, she was good at it. She remembered customers' names, slipped coupons to struggling mothers when Paula, the manager, wasn't looking. Once, an elderly woman came in looking for a blouse to wear to her husband's funeral. Emily spent 40 minutes with her in the fitting room, bringing soft blue cardigans, tissues, and silence whenever words would have been stupid. That's who she was. She lived with her best friend, Jen Mason, in a cramped duplex on Valley Row, with leaking pipes, creaky floors, and exactly enough money between them to survive if neither of them had a tire blowout that month. They'd been friends since elementary school, long before either of them understood that adulthood was mostly bills, laundry, and pretending not to be tired enough to cry in a grocery store aisle. On Friday nights, they ordered takeout that they could barely afford, sat cross-legged on the couch in sweatpants, and watched old horror movies while screaming at characters for making decisions they would absolutely make under pressure.
Why would she go into the basement?
Because the script said her survival instincts had to clock out early.
If I ever hear a noise in the basement, I'm leaving the state.
You'd make me check it first.
That's friendship.
No, that's attempted murder.
Legal technicalities.
Derek Lawson was usually there too, Emily's boyfriend. He installed tile and hardwood for his uncle's flooring company in houses where rich people spent $400 arguing over shades of beige, broad-shouldered, gentle, and blessed with the rare male quality of listening without immediately trying to fix everything with duct tape and misplaced confidence. He cared about Emily in the plainest, most undramatic way, not loudly, not possessively, and none of that exhausting theater some men perform like they're auditioning for sainthood. He brought her coffee during long shifts, warmed up her car in winter, helped her father fix the back porch without making a production of it. He took candid pictures of her constantly. Emily laughing at the county fair with mustard on her chin, asleep in the passenger seat with one hand tucked under her cheek, dancing barefoot in the kitchen stirring boxed mac and cheese like she was headlining an arena tour for people with questionable sodium habits. Delete that right now.
You look happy.
I look rabid.
Same thing at the county fair.
I'm breaking up with you.
You said that last week when I ate your fries.
And I meant it then, too. Her family lived 20 minutes away in a pale yellow ranch house with a vegetable garden Denise treated like sacred ground. Her father, Mark, coached middle school basketball and believed most problems could be solved with prayer or a good lawn mowing. Her mother, Denise, worked part-time at the library and had the uncanny ability to hear disappointment in Emily's voice before Emily even knew it was there. Every Sunday, Emily drove over. Roast chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans from the garden. Denise would nudge about school. Mark would ask if Derek had checked her oil, and Emily would roll her eyes, because sometimes being loved felt like being gently annoyed to death by people who knew your tire pressure.
You're smart, honey. You could do anything you wanted.
I know, Mom.
Nobody knows anything at 23. I thought I was going to own a bait shop.
Dad, that's genuinely sad. They laughed. Later, Emily sat on the porch with Derek while fireflies' butts blinked lazily over the backyard, and her mother washed dishes inside, pretending not to watch them through the window.
You ever think about leaving this town?
All the time. Somewhere warm, with an ocean, somewhere nobody knows me.
I'd go with you.
You hate sand.
I'd learn to respect it as an enemy.
Emily smiled. A real one. No camera, no angle, no audience. Just a girl sitting next to someone who cared about her before she thought affection had to look like applause. If life had stopped there, she probably would have been fine. Small house, dog someday, maybe a modest wedding in a country church, with a cousin DJing. A life not grand enough for strangers to envy, but warm and real and alive. Unfortunately, real life doesn't glow the way the fake version does through a screen. And little by little, Emily started noticing the glow. The wanting. It started the way most bad things do. Quietly, without ceremony, as a feeling more than an event. Small, itchy, humiliating. The feeling that everyone else had found a door somewhere and you were still standing outside with your name tag pinned to your shirt, asking a customer if she wanted a receipt. At lunch, Emily scrolled her phone in the Bellamy Threads stockroom, eating vending machine crackers and a yogurt she'd forgotten in the fridge. 2 days too long. Influencers filled her screen. Girls her age, some younger, with perfect apartments and flawless skin, unboxing handbags that cost more than Emily's car, and filming themselves in luxury vehicles while saying things like, "I finally quit my job." Emily watched those videos the way starving people watch cooking shows. One night, Jen muted the movie because Emily had stopped laughing.
You've been quiet tonight.
I'm just tired.
Women say I'm fine when they're fine, furious, exhausted, about to cry, or planning a federal crime. What is it?
Nothing happened. That's the problem. I wake up, go to work, sell clothes to people who treat me like a mannequin with a debit card reader. Come home, pay bills, go to sleep, and do it again. I don't want to wake up at 35 still in that store.
You won't,
How do you know?
because you're not stuck.
That's what people say when they don't have options. There it was, the first little crack. A small resentment dressed up as ambition. She started posting try-on videos from work, mirror selfies, little jokes from the dressing rooms. Jen helped record them. Derek hyped her up. And Denise commented heart emojis on everything because mothers on social media are legally required to behave like confused spam accounts.
Beautiful girl. Love you.
Mom, why do you comment like someone trying to sell sunglasses from a hacked profile?
I gave birth to you. I earned my exclamation points.
Then one video, Emily styling a single black dress 5 different ways, hit 10,000 views. For one afternoon, Bellamy Threads was bearable because strangers online were calling her beautiful, stylish, iconic. She floated through her shift and that night refreshed the video every few minutes, watching the numbers climb.
You're going to wear a hole through that screen.
It's still going up.
Numbers stop.
Why would you say that?
That's sort of what numbers do.
The videos stopped climbing by morning. Emily felt ridiculous for caring, but she cared anyway. And isn't that always how it starts? One minute you are laughing at yourself for needing validation from strangers, and the next, your entire mood depends on whether people you'll never meet tapped a tiny heart button while sitting on a toilet somewhere. Society really is something else. Hashtag skin deep. The private account came later. Emily called it extra income, empowerment, control. Human beings can justify almost anything if enough money sits behind the explanation. She posted lingerie pictures, flirty little videos, cute mirror selfies. Nothing too extreme, nothing she couldn't live with. Then the money came in. $50, then $100, then $200 for a photo she'd taken in 6 minutes beside her closet door. Emily stared at the number at her screen. $100 at Bellamy Threads took most of a full shift. Sore feet, fake smiles, and at least one customer accusing her of hiding larger sizes in the back, like denim contraband. $200 in 6 minutes. That kind of math does something to a person. It rewires shame, sweetens risk, and makes dignity feel negotiable. For a while, it made life genuinely better. Bills got paid on time, Jen stopped calculating groceries down to the dollar, and Emily bought a mattress that let her wake up without back pain for the first time in 2 years. She took Derek to a restaurant 2 towns over, where the menus had no prices and the waiters said words like reduction and foam with a straight face.
What is this?
I think it's a carrot that went to private school.
It's the size of my thumb.
Shh, it has trauma. They laughed so hard the waiter avoided their table for 10 minutes. Those were the good nights. Emily wasn't gone yet. But every good thing now came attached to a number. Subscribers, tips, follower count. She checked them before sleep and again before getting out of bed. When the numbers climbed, the day had meaning. When they fell even slightly, everything tilted. Then one night, alone in bed while rain tapped against the window, she found the hashtag. Hashtag skin deep. It appeared beneath a photo of a woman in a white satin robe standing on a balcony above some glittering city that looked too expensive for normal weather. 3 million likes. Emily tapped it and her screen flooded. Beautiful women in hotel rooms, penthouses, sports cars, private beaches, every post polished beyond reason, every face lit from beneath by some secret nobody had bothered to tell Emily. The accounts were strange, though. Some had millions of followers and hadn't posted in months. Comments kept appearing under photos that were half a year old, always from blank profiles with no pictures.
It works. Trust the process. Beauty requires sacrifice. Take off what you don't need.
Emily stared at that last one longer than she should have.
Ugh, creepy.
She copied the hashtag anyway. Curiosity is just temptation in casual clothes. She posed in front of her mirror in a pale pink lingerie set she'd bought on clearance and never worn. Took 17 photos, deleted 16, edited 1 until her skin looked smoother and warmer, and typed, "Feeling myself tonight. Hashtag skin deep." Her thumb hovered, then her phone buzzed. A text from Derek. Emily looked at the message, then back at the post. "I need something for me," she posted it. By 2 a.m, she had 50,000 new followers, 300 subscribers on her private page by noon. By dinner, she'd made more money in 18 hours than she made in a full month at Bellamy Threads. Emily spent the whole day shaking, not from fear, not yet, but from the particular electricity of a door swinging open for the first time. She thought she was walking through it. Poor thing. Little pieces. The first piece came off 3 days later. Emily found it changing after work. A thin flap of skin near her right hip. lifted at the edge like dead sunburn. She touched it with one finger. It didn't hurt, and that frightened her more than pain would have. She pulled gently. The patch separated cleanly and fell into her palm. Beneath it wasn't raw muscle or blood, just smooth, wet, pink flesh that looked too new, too exposed, like something that had never been meant to see air. What the hell? She Googled rashes, allergic reactions, stress-related peeling. The internet said yes to all of it, because the internet says yes to everything if you phrase the question right. Emily pressed a bandage over the spot and told herself it was nothing. That night, her post made another $3,000. More patches followed. Behind her left thigh, beneath her bra strap, a thin strip along her lower back. Still small, still painless, still easy enough to hide, with high-waisted shorts and knee-high socks and lace bodysuits. Her followers called it her style era, said she looked expensive, said she was glowing, and she was, just not in the way they meant. The phone addiction got worse. She checked her follower account in bed, in the shower, at red lights hidden beneath the register at Bellamy Threads, mid-conversation. Derek noticed first.
Em, did you hear anything I just said?
You were talking about work.
I said my aunt's biopsy came back clear.
The guilt that crossed Emily's face was real. Old Emily still lived somewhere in there.
Derek, I'm sorry. That's amazing.
I know you're excited about all this. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just miss talking to you.
I'm right here. She wanted to hug him. Then her phone lit up. New subscriber, big tip, and her eyes dropped before she could stop herself. Derek saw it. A crack opened between them, quiet and clean. The kind you don't notice until you go to lean on something and find it already gone. That night, Emily sat on the bathroom floor with superglue and medical tape. Okay, it's fine. It's just skin. Skin heals, right? She dabbed glue beneath the lifted edge near her hip and pressed it flat. The burn arrived instantly. She hissed through her teeth, held it for a full minute, and when she finally lifted her fingers, it stayed. The relief on her face was almost worse than the wound, because now she had a solution. And a person armed with a bad solution is very, very hard to save.
Lit by cold and empty grace, the moon forgot our names tonight.
The slow turn. The morning Emily quit Bellamy Threads, she had $11,000 in her account. She showed up in designer boots with tissue paper still stuffed inside and a purse she hadn't owned long enough to carry casually. Jen stood in the kitchen holding a coffee mug.
Where are you going dressed like you're about to ruin someone's marriage?
To quit?
Bellamy? Did you give notice?
Nope.
Emily, don't burn bridges just because you finally found a match.
It's a minimum wage clothing store, not a bridge.
It's still people.
You're jealous.
Jealous? Of what?
That I found a way out of being broke.
We're not broke. We're 23. There's a difference.
That's something broke people say so they don't cry in public. Jen looked at her like she'd just heard a stranger using Emily's voice.
Be careful today.
I'll be fine.
I wasn't talking about work.
Emily walked out without answering. Near the entrance of Bellamy Threads, a woman sat beneath the awning, wrapped in a faded gray blanket despite the heat. She looked up when Emily approached.
Sweetheart, could you spare a few dollars?
Emily slowed. The girl she used to be was still in there somewhere. The one who slipped coupons to tired mothers, who would have opened her purse without needing to make it a whole spiritual event. For 1 second, that girl reached for the surface. Then her phone buzzed. Emily looked at the woman's outstretched hand. Dirty fingernails, cracked knuckles, a slight tremor at the wrist. Then at her own hand, Fresh manicure, gold rings, phone glowing against her palm. God, that's disgusting. The woman lowered her hand. Emily stepped around her like she was a puddle. Inside, her coworker Maya, 17, the one who copied Emily's eyeliner and had been looking forward all week to picking homecoming dresses together, looked up with a big smile that Emily barely registered before walking straight past her to the counter.
You're late.
I'm quitting. Today. Right now, actually.
No notice at all?
You'll survive.
But you said you'd help me with homecoming dresses this weekend.
Emily lifted her sunglasses onto her head and smiled the smile she'd practiced in the mirror. I'm not meant for this place. She turned and walked out. The homeless woman watched her go. Emily didn't look back. That was the moment the curse stopped being something happening to her and became something she was choosing. Coverage. The good life was genuinely good for a while, and that needs to be said because temptation only works if it delivers first. Money poured in, followers multiply, brands sent packages. Men begged for her attention and women copied her outfits. And girls she hadn't spoke to since high school message saying they'd always known she was going to be famous. Which no, they absolutely did not, but memory gets very generous around success. She flew to Miami with 2 influencer girls she'd known online for 9 days. White hotel curtains billowing in ocean air, champagne on balconies, filming everything. Emily laughed harder than she had in months.
Girl, you are blowing up. What are you using?
I can't tell you. It's a trade secret. That night, Emily woke whispering near the balcony.
Take off what you don't need.
The room was dark. The other girls slept tangled in white sheets. Balcony doors were closed. The phone on the nightstand face up and screen black. Then it lit by itself. Hashtag skin deep. One new notification from a blank account. Beauty requires sacrifice. Emily turned it face down. In the morning, a strip of skin the length of her finger had peeled from beneath her left breast while she slept. She found it stuck to the sheet like a price tag that had worked itself loose. She superglued it back before breakfast. When she pulled the towel from between her teeth, there was blood on the cotton, not from the wound she'd bitten through her own lip. She went downstairs anyway, smiled for brunch, posted a beach photo with her ribs angled just right. Caption, living my dream, hashtag skin deep. By midnight, she gained another 500,000 followers. The peeling accelerated after Miami. More patches, larger ones. She learned which lights softened exposed flesh, which angles buried missing skin, which filters blurred things just enough without looking suspicious. Long sleeves became fashion. Gloves became a signature. Her fans called it mysterious, elegant, untouchable. One fashion account wrote, Emily Harper's covered aesthetic proves sensuality doesn't require exposure. If only they'd seen her bedroom. Makeup sponges stained pink and brown, medical tape layered under lace, glue tubes scattered across every drawer, alongside tweezers, scissors, and a septic spray. She bought perfume strong enough to cut through the smell, and the smell had become a serious problem. Sweet and foul at the same time. Vanilla and sandalwood candles burning around the clock, none of it helping. The body keeps records whether you like it or not. One evening she peeled back her shirt and found a patch of skin along her ribs bubbling at the edges. Gray, dead, resisting pressure. She pressed it down. It slid loose again with a wet sound that she felt more than heard. She grabbed the glue. Come on, stay. 3 seconds. Then it peeled free again. Emily sat down slowly on the bathroom floor, not from pain, but from the specific exhaustion of someone who has finally run out of ways to lie to themselves. Her phone buzzed. $30,000 sponsorship offer. She wiped her face and answered the email. The people who loved her. Derek waited at the airport with grocery store sunflowers wrapped in plastic, the kind Emily used to love. She spotted him before he saw her, standing at baggage claim in a gray hoodie, scanning the crowd with tired, hopeful eyes. She noticed the flowers looked cheap, then noticed herself noticing. The self-disgust came fast and didn't stay.
I missed you.
I was gone for 3 days. He hugged her. She winced when his hand pressed the glued strip beneath her shirt.
Are you okay?
I'm fine, Derek. God. He drove her home in silence. At her new apartment, he carried her suitcase upstairs and stood in the middle of a room staged by someone who'd seen pictures of happiness but never actually felt it. White couch, gold mirror, marble table, ring lights in every corner, packages stacked by the door. No family photos, no pictures of her and Jen, none of Derek's candid shots on any wall. Just Emily everywhere.
You took the county fair picture down?
It didn't match.
You were happy in it.
Can you stop saying that like I'm miserable now?
Are you?
Her phone vibrated.
Don't.
It's my job.
I'm standing right here, Em.
Then stand quieter. The words landed before she understood how cruel they were. Derek's face shifted, not to anger, hurt, the quieter kind.
Do you love me?
Emily opened her mouth. Her phone vibrated again. She picked it up. Derek nodded once.
That answers that. I'm not angry, Em. I'm just tired of watching you disappear while you call it becoming yourself.
He left the flowers on the counter. By morning, they had started to wilt. Emily posted beside them anyway. Caption read, "Some people only love you when you're small. #skin deep." The post went viral. Derek never commented. Denise Harper called every Sunday at 5. For years, Emily answered by the second ring. Now the phone rang until voicemail.
Hi, honey. Just checking in. Dinner's at 6 if you want to come by. Your dad bought too much corn again, so apparently we're feeding the county fair. Love you. Call me back.
Then the worried messages started.
Emily, I haven't heard your voice in over a week. I know you're busy, but please call me back so I know you're okay. Love you.
Then the quiet ones came.
I miss you.
Emily listened to every one, usually alone at night, glue drying along her ribs. Sometimes she'd type a response and delete it. Sometimes she whispered, "Tomorrow," to the empty room, and tomorrow was just the graveyard where better choices went to decompose. Her father texted less frequently, but with more weight.
Call your mother, please. Love you, kiddo.
She left it unread for 2 days because she knew opening it would hurt. When she finally did, she stared at the word kiddo until her vision blurred. Then her phone buzzed. $10,000 brand offer. She wiped her eyes, answered the email, and didn't call her father. Jen sees. Jen still had a key. Emily had forgotten to ask for it back, or maybe some part of her hadn't wanted to. She showed up just after midnight with soup, 2 coffees, and the expression of a woman prepared to either comfort someone or commit light assault depending on the situation. The apartment smelled wrong. Candles and perfume layered over something sweet and foul underneath. The kind of smell that makes the back of your throat tighten before your brain figures out why. Jen covered her nose and moved down the hallway toward the sound of fast, shallow breathing. The bathroom door was half open. Emily stood beneath the harsh white light, shirt lifted to her chest, both hands shaking around a loose section of skin from her stomach. Beneath it, yellow-white ribs, slick and glistening like something that belonged in a surgical theater and nowhere else. Jen's coffee cup hit the floor. "Get out!"
Oh my God.
"Don't look at me."
Emily, we need to go to the hospital.
"I can fix it."
With glue? Your ribs are showing.
Jen's eyes swept the counter. Open glue tubes, scattered foundation, bandages, bloody cotton, and near the sink little dried curls of skin, shed like something that had peeled away from itself and given up.
How long has this been happening?
"Leave!"
No, you don't get to vanish for months, treat everyone like garbage, and then tell me to leave while you're standing here falling apart. How long?
"You wanted something to be wrong with me. You couldn't stand that I got out."
Out? Look at you.
That hit. Jen didn't mean it cruelly, but Emily was past the point where affection could enter without doing damage on the way in. "I hate you."
No, you don't. Whatever you're doing online, whatever you got mixed up in, stop.
For 1 second, the spell cracked. Emily's voice came out small. "I'm scared. I don't know how to stop."
Then let me help you.
Jen stepped forward. Emily reached for her. Then the phone on the counter lit up. Both of them looked. A notification. #SkinDeep. One comment from an account with no profile picture.
Don't let her cover you.
What is that?
"Nothing. Get out."
Emily, you just said you were scared.
"Leave." This time Jen went, but before she stepped into the hallway, she turned back.
I love you. And when you remember who you are, call me.
Emily slammed the door in through the deadbolt like Jen was the monster and not the thing that had been feeding on her for months. Derek returns. Derek used the spare key during the first snow of November. Jen had called him. She didn't tell him everything. Some things would sound insane until you're standing in a bathroom watching them drip into a sink. She just said Emily was sick, badly, and alone. The apartment was dark except for the ring light burning in the bedroom. The smell hit him in the hallway. Perfume like a flower arrangement placed directly over a drain. Packages filled the entrance. Clothes everywhere, still tagged. Tripods, makeup palettes, candles burned to black glass. On the counter, the grocery store sunflowers he'd left months ago were still in their plastic, now brown, and crumbled into themselves. Derek touched them. A floorboard creaked behind him. Emily stood in the hallway wearing a silk robe, gloves, scarf, and a blonde wig sitting slightly crooked on her head. Face powdered too heavily, lips painted too red, eyes hollowed from weeks without real sleep. She looked almost normal. Almost.
Emily, take off the scarf. Please.
"That's not my name anymore." She said it quietly, not with arrogance, with fear.
What did you do?
"I became what people wanted."
I wanted you.
Simple, devastating, true. Emily's face cracked open for 1 second. She looked 23 again, just a scared girl in a bad wig, trapped in a nightmare she'd mistaken for success.
Come home with me. We'll call your parents. We'll figure it out.
"You can't fix this."
Then let me sit with you in it.
She almost moved toward him. Then the television turned on. Both of them jumped. Black and white static on the screen, and through it a shape forming. The Channel 13 tower, old and black, standing beneath a stormy sky. Words crawled across. Hashtag skin deep.
He loved the cover, not the thing beneath. Show him. He will leave when he sees. They all do.
Emily, whatever that is, it's lying.
The scarf around her throat loosened. A strip of skin below her jaw peeled free and landed on the floor between them. Derek flinched just slightly, just a second. Completely human and completely involuntary. The curse used it. You're disgusted.
I'm scared for you.
Liar! She shoved him into the coffee table. The county fair photo crashed to the floor. Emily laughing with mustard on her chin. Glass cracked straight across her face. Derek picked it up.
This is you. This is the girl I love. She's not gone if you stop.
There's nothing else. There's nothing else without this.
There was me.
No comeback for that one. Derek set the cracked photo on the table.
When you want to come back, call me.
Don't wait.
I probably will anyway.
He left. This time, he took the spare key. The television stayed on after the door closed, static filling the room. Then Donna Davenport's face flickered across the screen for one impossible second. Watching, not smiling, before it went black. The quiet room. After Derek left, Emily stopped sleeping because sleep made the peeling worse. She lived in fragments, 20-minute naps under studio lights, cold coffee beside makeup brushes, phone always in hand. Her world shrank to the size of a screen, and inside that screen, she had become content. Her body was packaging, her fear was fuel, her decay was a production problem she hadn't solved yet. One evening, she removed her gloves and found 2 knuckles split completely open while she'd been working. Bone showed underneath, not horror movie white, but yellowed and slick, the kind of thing the brain refuses to fully register on the first look because it simply doesn't belong on the outside. She sat on the bathroom floor and cried. Not dramatically, just the worn-out kind, the sound of someone who had finally run all the way out of places to hide. Her phone buzzed. $40,000 sponsorship offer. Emily wiped her eyes and answered the email. That's the real horror. Not the skin, not the exposure of bone beneath a ring light at 2 a.m. Addiction continuing long after logic has packed its bags and gone. She tried filming a makeup tutorial one afternoon. Halfway through contouring, a strip of skin near her jawline loosened and slid downward beneath the brush. Emily froze, then very slowly pressed it back with trembling fingers and kept going, explaining blush placement to the camera like nothing had happened. The comments flooded in.
You look off, but I love it. Goth era. Drop the filter. Nobody has your face card.
Hours later, she sat in the dark, rewinding the footage frame by frame. At exactly 11 seconds, just before the filter corrected itself, her reflection in the vanity mirror lagged behind. The woman on camera smiled. The reflection didn't. Emily slammed the laptop shut. New Year's Eve. On New Year's Eve, Emily sat alone under 3 ring lights while strangers flooded her inbox begging her to go live. Her right cheek had started loosening 2 days prior. She held it in place with medical adhesive and a layer of foundation so thick it cracked when she smiled. Her family had gone quiet. Denise had left one final voicemail.
Happy love you. Whatever is going on, please come home.
Emily listened to it twice, then archived it. Couldn't bring herself to delete it. Some thin shred of her still refused that, and went live. Hi, babies. The comments exploded. She laughed carefully, barely moving her cheek. They asked for more. More skin, more access, more proof she belonged to them. From somewhere in the building, muffled voices started counting down the new year. Emily watched the comments instead. The adhesive on her cheek stretched. It tore just enough, a dark, hollow showing for half a second before the filter smoothed it over. The comments detonated.
Oh my god, how did you do that? Horror era. Iconic.
Emily ended the stream, then screamed until her voice gave out. The fall. By February, Emily could no longer post her face. She posted recycled content from better days, but the audience noticed. Audiences always notice eventually.
Why old pics? She fell off. Post proof. Go live. Show yourself.
Neck down post. They complained. Audio only. They unsubscribed. Silhouette content. They mocked it. The numbers fell slowly, then fast, then in free fall, and Emily refreshed and refreshed, like someone pressing a wound that had decided it was finished trying to close. She used the hashtag. Hashtag skin deep. Nothing. She typed it again. Hashtag skin deep. More followers gone. It was finished with her, and that was the final cruelty. The thing that had used her simply moved on. No ceremony, no sign-off. It just stopped answering. 3 weeks without leaving the apartment. Rent unpaid, deliveries ignored. The silence between notifications stretched longer each day. Each buzz less like attention and more like a machine running a routine check on whether the product still functioned. The mirror. The apartment had finally gone quiet. Music off, live streams done, the fake laughter she trained herself to perform on command. Gone. Just the soft, electrical hum of the ring light in the corner. Emily's phone vibrating every few minutes beside the makeup-stained sink. Emily sat in front of the mirror. She had not spoken all day, maybe longer. The apartment smelled like flowers over garbage, money over ruin. The ring light buzzed behind her head, forming a white halo around the thing she had become. The skull in the mirror stared back. Not the decorative kind you shove into a garage by Thanksgiving. This was worse. Patches of skin still glued along the jaw, dried amber streaks of adhesive across the cheekbone, mascara smeared into empty sockets, a strip of scalp still holding strands of brown hair beneath the crooked wig. The mouth hung slightly open because there was no tissue or muscle or lips left to close it. Emily stared for a long time. No crying, no apology whispered into the empty room for the family she'd abandoned. The best friend she'd wounded, the man who'd cared about her before strangers started renting her attention by the month. She just sat there, and for the first time in months, she wasn't trying to fix it. Her phone buzzed once more.
Used to be hot.
Emily stood. She walked out of the bedroom. Bare feet on hard wood, down the hallway. past the dead sunflowers still brown in their grocery store plastic, past the stacked packages, past the framed county fair photo with the cracked glass, her own laughing face split clean across the middle. She paused there, one hand lifted toward the frame, then dropped. She kept walking. At the front door, morning light leaked through the seam at the bottom. A dog barking somewhere, a car passing, birds arguing in a tree like the world had no idea. Emily opened the door. Sprinklers ticking across fresh lawns. Sunlight spilled across everything in long golden streaks, and through the middle of it, something that used to be Emily Harper walked barefoot down the sidewalk in an oversized hoodie, phone vibrating in her pocket as followers disappeared by the second. She reached the edge of the street. A busy road always had been. Cars came fast around that curve by the old oak trees, and everybody in the neighborhood knew it. Emily knew it too. She didn't look left or right, didn't stop, didn't cry or lift her face toward heaven looking for forgiveness, the way movies always pretend people do at the end. She just kept walking, like she had somewhere to be. The driver slammed on the brakes, screaming. Neighbors came to their doors. Somebody yelled to call 911, and somebody else pulled out a phone and started recording, because humanity took one look at tragedy and decided the correct response was landscape mode. Near the curb, Emily's shattered phone lit up one last time, follower count still falling. The police report stated the victim suffered catastrophic trauma on impact. Witnesses described parts of her as wrong. One officer vomited at the scene. Another quit 2 weeks later. The driver told investigators he thought at first he'd hit a mannequin, something hollow, light, artificial. By the time they identified the remains as Emily Harper, most of her audience had already moved on to someone newer. The account vanished 3 days after her death, deleted or taken, depending on how optimistic you're feeling. Jen and Derek attended the funeral. Her parents sat in the front row holding each other's hands while people behind them whispered about tragedy, mental health, and internet culture. All the things people say when they're trying to avoid admitting they watched someone drown in public and hit the like button anyway. The casket was closed. The accident was the official reason. The real reason was that whatever remained inside no longer resembled the daughter Denise Harper remembered kissing goodbye on her first day of kindergarten. Before the service, Derek slipped the county fair photo inside, Emily laughing with mustard on her chin. Jen nearly collapsed when she saw it. After everyone went home, Denise stayed. According to the groundskeeper, she sat beside the casket for almost an hour, speaking softly to her daughter, apologizing, begging, and wondering where she went wrong. That part always destroys me. Parents spend years teaching children to survive the world. Nobody teaches parents how to survive watching the world hollow their children out instead. 3 nights after Emily's funeral, someone logged into her account. Not for a password reset or recovery request, and no IP address authorities could trace. One upload. A 30-second video posted at exactly 3:13 a.m. The video showed Emily sitting before the mirror, or what was left of her. Ring light glowed behind her skull like a halo. Jaw hanging slightly open, empty sockets forward, the phone screen reflecting endlessly in the mirror behind her. Thousands of comments still climbing, the numbers still going up. Text appeared at the end. #skin deep. Beauty requires sacrifice. The account went dark 6 seconds later. Authorities called it a hack. Viewers called it viral marketing and reposted it anyway. Reaction videos, memes, think pieces, because humans have a breathtaking ability to convert someone's suffering into content before the blood's fully dried. Almost every copy was scrubbed from every platform. Well, almost. 3 months later, at exactly 3:13 in the morning, that same footage played across one of the dead televisions inside Channel 13. No signal, no power, just static, and then Emily watching herself disappear. Emily Harper didn't die because she was vain. She died because she started mistaking attention for love. And once that switch gets flipped, once you let strangers become the mirror you measure yourself in, you will hand over anything to keep the reflection looking right. The signal didn't create that hunger, it found it. The way this station finds everything, through the cracks. The restlessness, the money stress, the perfectly ordinary ache of wanting to feel chosen. Then it widened the crack until she fell through. Somewhere tonight, somebody is staring at a glowing screen wondering if the right caption, the right angle, the right hashtag might finally make them feel like they matter. And maybe it will, for a little while, long enough to take something. This has been Tales from Channel 13, presented by Studio Sinister. Lost tapes, forgotten broadcast, stories still trapped in the static. Until the next transmission, keep your radios low, your doors locked, and whatever you do not touch that dial.